Verizon2 Sanyogita, whose team is focused on new technology innovation and bringing new products and experiences to consumer and enterprise customers, engaged a group of USC students from cinema, engineering, and business in a one-hour discussion of the question, what comes after Zoom and entertainment apps? Sanyogita was accompanied by her team members Andrew Herson, who is focused on B2B2C applications, and Zachary Drossman, who heads concept development at Verizon's 5G Labs. Here are highlights from the session.
I would say that it's being able to take that video on the go, being able to mix it with people's everyday lives, whether it's through mixed reality or through pure augmented reality.
AR glasses will be cool, but they're just really focusing more on the visual information, which is already super overloaded. And so I think the really big next thing to look out for is something that can replicate the full bandwidth of in-person communication so that we can manage meetings like this with the same flow and efficiency that we would have in in-person experiences.
But I think the question now is asking, how can we build better digital experiences? I think that's especially why Clubhouse has taken off so far, because you don't have to have that visual stimulation anymore. We're already spending like 8 hours a day on our computers. So having to focus just on your voice is honestly relaxing, right? We're especially missing that spontaneity that we would get in real life. And so I think it'd be really cool to explore ways where we can continue that.
COVID has accelerated the pace at which people started using video. It's definitely helping us to adapt to the new normal. So now we have a point of separation. We have to use a device to interact. So I just want to see what happens if that that middle man is not there and I can interact with the real world more seamlessly.
I know we talk about this like new normal, but then you also have a company like Google investing $7 billion into new offices, right? So there are companies that are maybe also thinking the other way.
So I was really wondering, like when we talk about these virtual experiences, how do we look at personalization? Because it's really probably difficult to sort of personalize such a virtual experience for different individuals.
I would look at personalizing the audio, especially if you're talking about meetings or teamwork or groups, events. Is it appropriately tracking what they want to hear and what they would expect to hear if they were walking around a room in real life?
There's an etiquette question here, which is sort of how do you enter a discussion and how do you exit a discussion?
If you get close to someone, you can hear them. You can hear their clothes rustling, all of these little noise sources that add up to say you're really here. And giving the people who are in the conversation some kind of indication too, yeah, someone can hear you now. That goes back to the personalization. If somebody is colorblind, you've got to have a way for them to say, I am colorblind, I need this interface in grayscale. If somebody has auditory processing disorders, you've got to have a way for them to say, look, I need the low audio version of this interface. And then we're going to get into like mobility impairments. How does a wheelchair user use a VR space?
I think the price point for entry-level glasses is a lot higher than the entry-level VR. Like I think it has more room to be higher because of it's like so many people are big on their social presence in the world now. Having a pair of AR, like imagine having a pair of AR glasses. Like I don't know. I think that would set people apart. Yes.
If you can say, oh, this isn't just a toy. There's someone who would pay thousands of dollars, or her friends and family would, if we could get her a computer system she could interact with, because she has visual disabilities and she simply flat out cannot use a computer for there's a very limited time per day she can use it. If you go for this will make you more efficient and will help you do things, I think the price point goes up.
Like Heather said, I would be willing to pay, maybe like a higher price if I see that it improves my life, but also like if I know that there are other people using it.
Where do you rate security and privacy in all of this?
Like in my experience, it's most people are like, if they sit down and watch that Netflix documentary or watch that YouTube video, for the next couple of days, they'll be like lecturing everybody about their privacy online. But on a large scale, like we still see people using the apps. Like, so it's like a really interesting conversation around data privacy is that it needs to be there. Like it's super important to people, but they'll still use it if it doesn't match all of their requirements.
People are still very surprised to hear that I think my phone is listening to me, you know, like one thing, I was talking about one thing, and then I suddenly see an ad like targeted about that same thing. Nowadays, people really, they want things that are modified and catered to themselves to help their lives better, but they don't know it is given to them at the cost of, you know, their privacy, like their data.
I think at the end of the day, if you're providing tangible value to the user, that's what they care about most, right? For the people who are concerned about these issues, they take it upon them to educate themselves about the issue. For most people, it's of secondary concern, quite honestly.
With a new technology that's going to exist, I think it'd be really helpful if, especially in safety and privacy, is as it grows in its development, like I think it'd be really effective for people to understand how it's helping them, instead of like them maybe creating their own theories, or them like hearing or them learning about it being used in other ways. So the transparency there, and how it helps them.
This has been great. I think hearing all of these perspectives from everyone who's contributed today has just been really interesting and gives us a lot to think about. So thank you.
Yeah, I would echo that. Thanks for having us. It's been really enjoyable.
Thank you, Phil. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did.